Welcome. My name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. and I was born July 4th, 1986. I want to say thank you for tuning in to try to figure out some more about your dogs. Because today, I got to talk about something that some people are not going to like what I have to say. But it comes down to something that I'm not here to talk to a dog trainer to, in reality, try to figure out this and that. I'm here to talk to someone with a dog right now and you're confused. You're not sure what to do because this is me. I was going through this. Yes, am I a dog trainer for hire to help people out? But I realized there's a better way for me to be able to help people out than being a one-on-one coach for people, as opposed to just giving you the real understanding of what's actually going on. Because I had to do some backtracking, slowing down on my own stuff, realizing I'm out here talking about some things that my stuff at home is a mess. And who am I to talk to someone when my stuff is not what it is that someone else is actually looking for? When I'm not taking my dogs places that people want to be able to take their places. When I'm keeping my dogs behind closed doors and not putting them out in the public the way that everyone else is doing. And that's what kind of made me have to slow down something to say, what I'm doing as a dog trainer is what dog trainers do. We got like, at the end of the day, majority of it is like sport tricks type stuff. That's what majority of our dogs are. And that's not what majority of what everyone is wanting with their dog. You just want to be able to hang out with your dog. And the number one thing that I want to talk about today is going to be revolving back to, I think I need to keep talking about relationships over and over and over again, because a solid quality foundation of having a good relationship is what's going to be able to get your dog to be able to, like, you're going to be in tune. And relationships are confusing today because it's based on, you can go on any dog training website, video, anything right now, and how they talk about building a relationship. And they always talk about, I could say playing games. Playing games is one way. Yeah, you got that. But a lot of it comes down to like obedience and structure and all these things. That has nothing to do with building a relationship. Because this is something that is just mind-blowing, that when I heard this information, and I'm going to say something right now that it's going to take probably a couple days, hours, weeks, months even for you to just like process what I'm about to say this second. But the concept of building a relationship, it should not come down to work. It should be something that you just do, something that's just there. And if it's not there and you're having to put work in it, you're disrespecting at that moment because you're trying to change someone or something to be what you want them to be, as opposed to allowing them to be who they are. This is the part with me that I was struggling with, because I was trying to change my dogs to be doing something that I want, that I'm looking for, as opposed to, who are you? What do you represent? What do you need? And let me give you that. And then I'm no longer in a butting heads where I have to like start adding more things here to get the dog to say, like me. The dogs just want to be with me at that moment. I'm no longer on this like, I have to train and create a recall out of a dog, because the dog already wants me. The thing is, I think a lot of us are struggling with the concept of there's going to be a huge difference right here with what I'm going to say compared to human beings and dogs. Where at the end of the day, we can build relationships the same way, but there's something that is just, I don't know how to say it, but magical with dogs over human beings. This is where I'm going to say at the end of the day, it should be the easiest thing to do is to have a good relationship with the dog. And to me, just knowing what I know today, it's like a fundamental thing that if you're struggling with that, I'm going to slap a guarantee you're struggling with relationships with human beings in life. Because dogs are like easy, because their whole like design makeup, granted, wolves, coyotes, all this other stuff out here, this is different. We've been breeding these dogs specifically to be bred to us as humans, to look at us as the main prize of the show on this planet. That's how dogs look at us. And me just going for a walk today and seeing a dog in a crate, I don't want to say someone left it, but clearly because it was actually an animal control crate. They were like baiting to try to catch something. Somehow they caught a dog. So somehow they know what the heck they're doing, how to catch dogs. And I look at it and I call the number. I say, there's a dog sitting here. This dog is just looking at me, his cute little eyes, and says, hey, buddy, I want to go with you. I want to be with you. I don't know you. I don't know nothing about you. I don't know what your styles are. But that dog looked at me and he said, I want to be with you. You look cool, man. Let me come to you. And I looked at that dog like, man, this is hard because I gotta let you go. I'm sorry, man. You cute look. These cattle dogs, please, people, stay away from cattle. If you do not have cattle, do not get a cattle dog. Period. I'm gonna leave it like that right there. Certain of these dogs, I need to start putting disclaimers out there about certain dogs that I just understand that are more challenging when they're not able to have their purpose. And that dog was looking at me because I don't know what it is, but hey, I've got cows. And this dog knew it already. He's like, I'm going, buddy, you're going to be able to give me the life that I need. And that's the part with me that I understand that when you see that dog running down the street, it's looking for you, man. If it came to you, it knows something about you that it's like, I like you. But what starts to happen is we start to disrespect that dog, and we start to do stuff to make that dog like push it away. That's when we're working on recall. That's when we're working on stays. That's when we're working on these things, because now somehow we've pushed this dog away that all it wants to do is to be with us. We shouldn't have to work at it. And the moment that we're starting to work at getting this dog to like us, appreciate, we're failing. We're failing. Because the genetic makeup of these dogs is to just look at us, just want to sit and stare at you like, hey, what's going on, man? What's up? What are you going to do now? Where are we going to go now? What are we going to make happen now? And the dog is like, okay, we're going to do that. Okay, let's go do that. And that's when you're able to give the dog more and more and more space, freedom, area, because you're listening. That dog is saying, I got something in me I got to do. And you look at it and you understand it. And you say, okay, well, you're a cattle dog. You want to move some cows. Let me get that lined up for you. He does it. And that dog is going to look back at me and say, hey, buddy, you let me do what I needed to do. You didn't pull no street. You didn't do no trickery, no nothing. You just allowed me to do what I need to do. This is something that, again, I don't like using my animals too much. But this is where I got to create a fake artificial system here or something. But some of the dogs that I bring here that's never been able to chase, I let them chase the chickens, I let them get it out. And they finish, because they get tired, man. They get, I just let them go. I let them go. I said, put them in the coop. And I get Oreo to show the dog. It's fascinating how my Border Collie is able to show a new dog what to do. And I put him in the coop, put him in the coop, put him in the coop, put him in the coop. That dog will do that for 2-3 hours, and it's exhausted. And after that dog does that, that dog just looks at me and says, hey, buddy, what are we going to do next? Because all that dog wants to do is get to know me, because I allow that dog to do what that dog needs to do. This is with across the board of all of my dogs that I've really started to change and look into. Give that dog what it's looking for, what it needs. And then that dog says, okay, hi. And this is the beauty, I'm going to say, is what we've been breeding and times have been going on with us. Since we're not using the dogs for their purpose much anymore, the dogs are like losing that work behind them. Soon enough, the dogs are going to be like, they're going to have no desire. They're not going to chase nothing. They're not going to want to herd nothing. They're not going to move nothing. They're just going to be nothing, because we're getting the work out of the dogs. The same with us as humans. And not how many of us are actually hunter-gatherers out there going out and actually getting our food. We're losing it all. We're losing the concept of even how to fish to get food. We're losing it all because we don't do it anymore. We used to do it back then. We had to survive off that. Now, since things are getting, we got superstores and convenience stores and all this stuff, we don't need those skills anymore. Since we don't need those skills, we don't teach those skills. We don't need to teach those skills. Now we're nowhere with that. That's why most dogs that, especially the ones that you just see, you pick up, the ones out of the shelter, the ones out of these places, the dog doesn't need a lot. It just needs what it needs in that moment, that's a little bit. And when you give it to that, that's where you're not working to make this relationship work. You're giving what you know needs to happen for it to just naturally be there. This is the thing that I think a lot of us are struggling with, especially for the concept of me saying, have the dog on leash and have it stay with you. Have it stay close to you. That's not a punishment to the dog, because that's what the dogs, that's what they live, die, and breathe for. They want to be with us. I still don't see dogs anywhere, even working ones that we breed, that do not work for us. They work for us. They are here for us. These animals are amazing in the fact that they are all about us as humans. And the moment that you're like, now your dog is like running away and it doesn't want to be next to you, you need to like just stop and just say, what the heck am I doing in this relationship? Because there should be no reason this dog should not want to be with me. Your dogs are running away, why? This dog doesn't want to be with you. And if the dog doesn't want to be with you, then we start to force the dog to be with us. Now we're going worse and worse and worse, to the point that the dog is going to protest and it's got to go to the shelter. I got to put the dog down. As opposed to wondering, what's going on here? This is something that is just super fascinating to me. More and more that I get certain feedback from certain people that want to say certain things about what it is that I do. When I'm talking about how to properly hang out with the dog, knowing that the dog wants to do that in the first place, that takes the complexity out of things. As opposed to, you got to do this, and then your dog will finally like you. That's complicated. And that's what, at the end of the day, in reality, what dog training represents. This. As opposed to just figuring out, what does my dog like doing? Your dog likes to sniff? Why are you not allowing your dog to do that? Because that trainer said that your dog's going to get worse if they do that? Well, this is something that I would just love to just put out there and just say, just try it and see what happens. See what happens. Let your dog sniff for 2 hours. See what happens. If your dog starts to get more crazy, more wild, more pushy, more ruthless, more worse, then just you wrote that off. But if you're correcting that dog from sniffing, you're trying to treat that dog away from sniffing, you're trying to do anything but allow that dog to do what that dog has in its desire to do, Is it getting better? Is it getting easier? Are you needing more and more? Are you trying to find that next tip of how I can finally officially be able to do it? You trying to learn more so I can learn how to correct at the right time, learn how to treat at the right time to get it better. As opposed to just realizing all of that is an artificial relationship. You're making it happen. And at the end of the day, that's what we as humans are like starting to do with each other. We're trying to make it happen. We want to force it to be something as opposed to just, at the end of the day, just be yourself and be you and allow the dog to be itself and be it and work with it. If that means that you got the dog that it's a little out of your set even comfort zone up front of I want to walk, I want to be a mission. This is something with me that I could just say is I like to move. But then when my dog's like, no, I want to smell. And I'm having to stand here and just let him smell. I'm just like, I don't like this. But that's the part that is just the need, that's the necessary part that needs to be there for us to understand how relationships work. Because it's not all about me. It's about what that other person, that other thing also is needing. And sometimes I have to just take the back seat, just sit down and just suck for a little bit. Allow that thing to be able to have a fun time. And then we start to balance back and forth off of each other. Because in reality, majority of the day, we're not like all on top of these dogs and they're just telling us what to do. No, they're actually doing what we want like 99% of the day. And at 1%, they're finally able to go sniff and pee and do something like, yeah, woohoo, we're finally free. And then they got to come back into the house real quick and they're right back doing everything that we're telling it to do. And this is where we're struggling because that dog is saying, I got to do something. I need to make something happen here. And if we're not giving it to that dog, that's where we're struggling because we think that we could change it and we could do something. And when you're trying to try to build a relationship, you're struggling as opposed to let it just happen. And something is just very interesting about the concept of when someone would say, it's my dog and I'll tell it to do, make it do, and force it to do what I want it to do. You're going to get a level of success with that, I'm going to say. But as far as just that hanging out, relaxing, being calm, being chill, never being on edge with stuff, you're kind of just, I'm going to almost guarantee you're not going to get there. You're always like looking and studying and wondering and hoping that everything is going to be good as opposed to knowing that it is going to be good. This is where we have to work at it so hard to make it good. You're always like, you're just on edge all the time. As opposed to knowing that things are good because we're working in tune with each other. I know you like to sniff, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to sacrifice my time, what I want to do right now to give that to you. And then that dog is going to look at you and say, wow, you're allowing? Okay, now we can keep moving. This is why for some people, you get your dog the first instant, you're good to go because you're matched up, you're doing what you need to do right away. It's like me and the Dalmatian, we matched up day one. She's like, I want to run, I want to chase, I want to do it. I said, do it. Do it. Do what you want, girl. Shoot, make it happen. And when I don't want you to do it, you're just going to be on leash with me, and that is what it is. And or you're on, so today I've upgraded her experience of differentness of you're on harness, you're free game to do whatever you want. You're on flat collar, now you're walking. You're not pulling, you're not doing anything, you're going to be hanging out with me. You can sniff if you want, but my dogs today are so in tune with, they let me know. They look at me, they're like, hey, can I stop? And they do it so politely. They don't just like bum rush and roll into it. That's where I'm going to say the dog has to disrespect because it's getting disrespect. But when I'm respecting them and I'm looking at them and I'm giving them what it is that I know that they need, they'll ask, hey man, I got to go look at that. I say, okay, let's go look at it. And then when they're sniffing, do what they're doing, I can say, come on, let's go. You're going too far with this right now. And they're like, oh, okay. We just start dancing back and forth because I'm giving the dog what it needs. And someone's going to say, oh, your dog's going to be pushing you around. But that's the thing that comes into someone's mind. I'm going to go on a half a story time for a second right here. Because when someone says, if your dog is sniffing, your dog is doing stuff, and you're allowing the dog to do these things, and your dog is controlling you and pushing you around, this is the part where that person is in their mind of, such as someone who is doing something wrong. And I just want to make it a simple way of putting it of, I'm pretty sure a lot of people, I'm not talking to an audience of 5-year-olds, so a lot of people have understood this, been in your life this has happened, and or you've heard this story before. And I want to put this story out there because this is what we're doing to these dogs. You got someone who's hounding you, that's like all in your phone, watching all your texts. Why are you talking to this person? Why are you talking to that person? Why are you over there? You're 5 minutes late. What's going on here? Why are you doing it? Someone is just hounding and hounding and hounding. And then later on we find out they're the ones that are actually doing something suspicious behind closed doors. They're the ones that are actually like cheating. They're the ones that are actually out there lying and manipulating. They're the ones that were doing it. And they're putting all that pressure on everyone else because you have this like, what is it? The guilt, the shame on you of like someone's going to do that to me because I'm doing that to someone else. And that's what happens to these dogs. You're thinking like, oh, they're going to get back at me because of what I'm doing. I'm controlling everything, so they're going to do that to me as well. That is so toxic. And that's what's going on in, unfortunately, a lot of people's relationships today. Not only just with these simple dogs, but it's going on with us as humans. That we're allowing people to just push us around, and they're doing that. And then they're trying to be on top of you because of what they're doing. As opposed to realizing if you just let that all go, you just be your true, authentic self and allow things to happen the way they are, then they will happen. This is why the dog starts to run away from people, and it wants nothing to do with you, because you start doing that. You're putting all that, and then you put that control. Then that dog starts to everything starts to go backwards at that moment, because now you're trying to force something to stay with you, as opposed to it wanting to be there in the beginning. Not many of y'all got a dog that you got the dog and it was just you had to like spend 8 hours chasing it for it to be able to come to you. Most cases, the dog, like, especially if you just got the dog off the side of the road, the dog looked at you and it said, hey, what's up, man? I want to come with you. And you were instantly good. You had instant trust. You had instant respect. That dog instantly looked at you and gave it its full everything. It said, take it, man, you're good. That dog knowing you're not going to hurt me, you're not going to kill me, you're not going to do anything bad to me. And it came to you. It came to you for a reason. But then things start to change up, because we start to limit and restrict that dog from being that dog and giving it being what it's supposed to be. And it's an unfortunate thing. It's like nowadays, it's like right away, we're just shoved with this instant dog training stuff. Sit, down, place, walk perfectly, don't sniff, don't this, don't go over here, don't run that, don't chase this, don't be over there, don't meet another dog, don't see people, don't do. We're just telling them nothing. As opposed to realizing what is it that's going to be, what does this dog actually want? What does this dog in my face want? If my dog doesn't like other dogs, then just keep your dog at a distance so your dog can be able to see you. If your dog doesn't like people, keep it from a distance. Your dog likes people, get it in a scenario so that it can experience all that it wants to experience. And look at the dog in your face. This is why I don't really like showing my dogs too much, because I don't want you to think like, ooh, I want mine. No, you do not want your dogs to be like mine, because mine are individuals. They are who they are. And they're just, it's just what they are, man. My German Shepherd is not the classic of what they all are all about. Some of them like to chase. This dude don't chase nothing. He sees a deer, he'll like, I'm looking at it like, what's going on here? But he doesn't have this like deep down to chase the chickens, to chase, you don't mess with the cows. He's like his, I want to say, official reasons, well, I was just even saying earlier about their work is changing. He has like zero farm work from what he was initially created to do anymore today. All the dude wants to do is just smell and pee and mark stuff and go search and find things. That's it. He could see a rabbit right there, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to smell that first, and if that rabbit's there, nah, whatever. I want to smell that. That's who he is. That's just what he's all about. And if I would strip from him to be able to smell, strip from him anything that he's looking for, we're butting heads, because that's what we were doing, was butting heads. I had to slow it down. So my dogs are mine, and I'm paying attention to what each one wants, what each one is looking for. The day one, my Dalmatian, she's like, I want to meet every person. And then it was almost like she didn't know what, she was just in this just burst of like, I got to get it all. Not realizing she actually doesn't want to meet everybody. She just did it because she, like, say, never have done it. So that's what happens when the dogs first smell something. They go crazy. They're like, they're all over the place. But once they start to be able to do it more and more, they're calm. They're like, oh, okay. Well, I don't need to like get it all out this one moment. I'm going to do it again tomorrow. I'm going to do it again. So now that's how this girl is. She looks at it. She's like, oh, okay, well, I'll see that person. I don't like that person. This person, I want to meet that person. This person, I don't know about that person. And I would be setting her up for failure to be into what most dogs end up is in that reactive, because they turn into frustration because they can't get what they want to be able to get to. So that's why they're barking, lunging, going crazy, because they want to get to it, but they can't get to it because we're restricting them from it. And then it just builds and it gets worse and worse and worse. And then it gets to that point that a dog finally just says, oh, okay, whatever. You know, I know you're not going to let me see it anyway, so I'm just going to look crazy just so that we can get on out of here, so that I don't have to deal with it. I don't even have to worry, thinking I get my hopes up and nothing's going to happen. This is what's going on with a lot of these dogs, that we're just disrespecting them moment one. When that dog came to us and it trusted us, it believed in us, it put a lot of value in us, and then we just throw it all away. Say, I don't care about what you want. This is what I want. That's where we're struggling. That's where most all people, this is where I was personally struggling in my life. And I started to see this, and I started to help other people see like what's going on here, and start to realize like what's actually happening here. That we're taking ourselves as being the show, the prize, the thing that the dogs absolutely love the most. We're making ourselves be a negative to the dog, not the positive. And this is where, in people's minds, you start to get things backwards with this whole negative, positive stuff. You start to get it, you start to go into the wrong loops of it because of how you view the world and how you view people. You think that they are also going to do that and be that with you. That's what another huge thing we're struggling with as humans today. Where someone with, if you're a stingy, trying to hold back, what is the best word to use right there? My neighbor used to say it, and it used to make fun. I can't even think of the word right now. But just say you are nervous and scared and worried of people. We start to project that onto other people that they are also that, as of just realizing, no, that's just you and what you're seeing out of the world. We're not like lining things up. We're like trying to put out to everyone what we are inside, as opposed to realizing that's not how everybody is. And there's a specific term of a person on this planet that's like that, and that's what's going on here. I would say I want my dog like this, so I know for a fact that you want yours like that as well. And that's not true. That's not true. The way that I want this, you want yours like that. That's not true. That's why I'm not here to show dog training techniques. I'm here to talk about dog training philosophy, to be able to give you a different understanding of how to look at your dog that's inside of your home. Why the heck is it there? And what's going on with it? If your dog, I'm going to say this right here, right this second. If your dog does not come to you when you call them, granted, they're chasing a rabbit, they're chasing a deer, that takes a whole different up level of a relationship, I'm going to say. But if your dog is sitting in the house and you just call it and it just looks at you, or it don't even look at you, check it first, make sure it's not deaf. But if it don't even look at you, it's a huge statement going on right now, that your dog does not care at all about you. And it starts with us not doing something for them up front. The dogs don't, it's not the other way around. The dog's not disrespecting you, so now you got to disrespect the dog. No, you are disrespecting the dog, so now the dog has to do it back to you. That's just the way of this world works, because these dogs have a burning desire to want to be with us. They have a burning desire to want to listen to us. That's just what they are all about. And that's something that, if you don't know that I would hope that you would do some research on what the evolution of dogs and humans and what's going on with them, and paying attention to them like even 40, 50, 60, 100 years ago, and see where they are today and see the differences. The differences are the dogs are no longer like needed in reality for most of what they appear to look like for what they do. And we're not giving them anything that they need, that we're stripping everything about them. We want to force them into our world, our reality, without understanding that they have something in them that they need. And that comes down to a lot of everything, man. You meet somebody and you're like, oh, I don't like that you do that. So then you try to change them from doing that. And that's just who they are. As opposed to saying, hey, you're pretty good at that. Let me like help you out to be able to do that more. That's where your relationship is no longer working. It is just doing. It is just being. And that's what we need with the dogs, is just to be in a relationship with them, not to try to force ourselves to like them or force them to like us. The dog either does or it doesn't based on who you are. In most cases, the dogs instantly came to you with full trust. They instantly did. Otherwise, they wouldn't come to you. Otherwise, they wouldn't let you put a leash on them. Otherwise, they wouldn't let you pet them. If you're able to do any of that with your dog came to you with full trust and respect. They said, hey, buddy, you're going to take care of me. And then that's the moment where we got to decide, what are we going to do now? Because now if, oh, my dog likes to sniff, and you're like, no, don't do that because I don't like that. Now you're butting heads. And now you're trying to force the dog to do something else that the dog doesn't really care for, such as it needs to walk perfect with me. That'll be able to get its because the language that I've heard and known and used to say is a dog needs a job. So a job for a dog is going to get it tired if it's walking at a perfect heel. You're telling it what to do. That's not how this works. That's not at all how it works. Us as humans, yes, we could do such a thing. You could be like the most fantastic artist, and for you to be able to make it and live, you can go be a construction worker. You can still make it work. But that's not how dogs are. If a dog's in its desire that it's a sniffer, it has to sniff. It's just who it is. It's what it's all about. We can't like strip that from the dog. We've got to give it to the dog. And at first, if the dog's never been able to do it, it's going to go crazy. And it's going to look crazy. And you're going to be like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? What's happening? But you got to allow the dog to be able to get through it. And then once the obsessiveness gets out of it, it starts to slow down. It starts to get better and better and better, calmer and calmer, calmer, more and more relaxed. And it starts to say, hey, okay, well, you're listening to me. So I have more willingness to want to listen to you now, as opposed to making myself push myself further away from you. This is the part with me. It's fantastic. When I'm working with the dog, when I'm working in tune with the dogs, as opposed to working against them. Because most cases what we're doing is working against it because you would say, I don't agree with that. I don't like that. My dog likes that, so I don't want to do that. You go out and get yourself man, a lot of these dogs are hunting. They like to chase, hunt, point, do stuff like that. I don't like that. But yet you got the dog that does that. I don't like that. My dog is what's another good one? My husky. I don't like that. My dog likes to pull and likes to chase rabbits and stuff. But that's what that dog is all about. And we're coming in here trying to say, I don't like that about you, so now I want you to do this instead. And then that's where you're going to start butting heads. That's where you got to put more control on. And then the second that you try to release any of that control, that's when things start to go downhill. Because as soon as you start that control, you have to keep magnifying it more and more and more and more and more. It just doesn't go away. You're just never at a stance where it's just like, oh, we're good to go. We can just chill now. We can hang out. No, you're constantly on edge over and over and over again. This is a thing that at the end of the day, again, it's just, there's no money in understanding of studying and paying attention to your dog and learn what it is that your dog is looking for and give that dog what that dog is looking for, because that dog already wants to listen to you regardless. It's just a matter of us listening to that dog. And it's not just a one-way thing here that I could put it in a box and that's all that it is. That's not the way that this works. We've got to give the dog something to do. We've got to give the dogs that thing that they desire. This is the thing that's fascinating, that it works with, like such as a lot of the dog sports. The dogs come out to do their work, and then they go back away, and they're perfectly well-balanced dogs. They only need to be out working an hour, even 15 minutes in a day, and they can be locked up all day long, and they're perfectly fine, well-balanced, nice dogs because they came out to do their purpose, and then they went back away. Because in reality, most border collies are kind of the working ones. Back in the days, that's how they were. They came out for work. Otherwise, they were just locked up and they're hanging out. And they're well-balanced dogs because they're coming out to do what it is that they need to do. But as far as a pet dog that doesn't have that hardcore work behind it anymore, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's why some dog training methods and techniques work really good on some dogs. Like my German Shepherd, I take him out for his work and he's satisfied. Some days I could work him, I could overwork him. If I take him for a 4 to 5 hour walk / run, let him sniff on the whole thing, he's good for 3 or 4 days. He doesn't need to do anything. I could just crate him, keep him, lock him up. He doesn't need nothing anymore. He came out, he let it all out. He made it all happen. And then he's good to go. That's how my Dalmatian is. That's why I don't have her out doing too much with her, because or for one, I'm training this dog. It's incredible to see what she's already capable of being able to do. But she needs to understand we come out and you let it all out right now. You let it all out. And then later on, we just chill all day. We're relaxed all day. I don't need you to be moving and doing all day long. I need you to come out and do this hardcore right now. And then, okay, now here, relax. We're chill. We're off duty. You're in the house. You're just hanging out. She's just sleeping on the bed right now. We just went for a good run. And that's just what she's going to do. So she understands the differences. Right now, you go all out. Don't hold back. Give me everything that you have. And that's the differences between where I'm going to say is the working dog compared to the pet dog. I can't do that to my Johnny. If I work him hard one time, like today, I took him with me actually, and we was out there. He's done. He cool with it, but he's done. He's done for the next week or more. It might even be 2 weeks compared to what he was doing today. I had to do it out there swimming and throwing sticks, and he was swimming, he was doing the most. He can't handle that. This is just not what he's about anymore. He's bred all that away out of him. That's just what most of the dogs inside of our houses are now. And if you have that dog that's just like go, 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 then that's the part where, again, you got to make them sacrifices saying, I know that's what you need, and you got to give them that. And then you're going to see that things are going to be really, really nice for you. Really nice for you. And it doesn't work to the way of, I'm going to lay a law down and control everything, and then that dog is going to finally be a nicer dog. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And I'm not one to just be on the outsides watching people's videos again and just being like, oh, they're just critiquing. I'm living it. I'm a living example of what I do. And this is why I speak of what I speak of, because I'm just going through the process of where I've been and where I'm going and the changes that I'm doing to be able to get things to be able to get better. The more and more that I just kept restricting, the more and more I was going downhill. The more and more I was trying to say to that Dalmatian, no, 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 the more and more we were just going downhill. But now when I say, okay, you want to pull, you can run, harness, hooked up, she feels it. She's like, okay, I got free, I could do whatever I want right now. She can go savage mode. But as soon as she feels something on that neck, she's like, oh, okay, we just, we hanging out. I'm with you, buddy. We're good to go. But at first, I had to let her just get it all out. Get it all out. And that's how today I'm very easily able to get her to walk with me with no pull, with no nothing, with just understanding that because I gave her what she needed. Now, if I try to strip that from her, we're going to be fighting till the day she passes away. We would be fighting. We would be battling, man. Because that's what's going on with most people, with most of y'all, with y'all dogs. You're fighting. We're too smart of a human being to be fighting with dogs. We got to get out of that. And that's the part with me is if you want the dog, again, understand what they are. That this isn't just some little shoe that you stick in the corner and it's going to be fine. This is something that we're working on. This is something that you have to let some things that you go to be able to give that dog what it needs. And once you are able to do that, you're going to see an amazing relationship start to happen. And it doesn't work the other way. The dog's not going to do for me. And then this is the thing that I think that most people are stumbling in life with right now. Things don't, you're the one that starts it. And then the other thing is going to either say yes or no. Do I want to do this or do I not want to do this? This is again where I'm going to say how dogs are magical because they want to do this with us. They want to be with us. They want to be as close as possible. I mean, some of y'all, your dog, you know what I'm saying. The dog is right there, man. You're sitting on the couch and it's like, it's on you. You're laying in the bed and it's like on you. And you're kind of almost like, dude, can I get a little bit of space? And the dog's like, nope, I want to be right back with you. The dogs want to be with us. They want to be there. And the moment that the dog is like, it don't want to be nowhere around us and it's trying to run away from us, and you're like, I need an e-collar to get the dog to come back, you're doing something wrong to that dog. You're doing something wrong. And that's where I want people to stop. Stop and think for a moment before you're like, I need to do this extra to force the dog back. Think for a moment. What's going on? Why this dog doesn't want to listen to me when this dog has been pre-programmed, bred, raised, created to want to do everything for me? What is it that I'm not doing here to get this dog to act like this? That's the moment that we need to stop. That moment. And a lot of times, this like I said, this puppy stuff, this stuff is not as easy as people try to make it seem. It's a dog. It requires a lot. And we start to get frustrated because the dog is always jumping and chewing on me, go crazy with it. As opposed to being calm and understanding and just being there for the dog, being compassionate with the dog, showing the dog how to be calm. By you being calm. You don't get the dog calm and then you're finally going to calm down. No, you calm down, then the dog will calm down. When you're all going crazy and wild and moving and doing this and the dog is all on you, the dog is just doing what it thinks that you want. When you're sitting there, this is another thing that we like doing is we like to rough and tough and play with the dog and lead the dog to nowhere with that. We just go crazy and we're not explaining to the dog like we're done now. So then the dog keeps going. And the dog keeps going. What do? Get irritated. And you're like, no, get off me. And the dog's like, I thought we were playing. Like, what's going on? What's happening? And little things like this just happen. That's what's destroying the dogs. Just allow the dog to do what the dog needs to do. And of course, there's always going to be, oh, my dog likes to bite people. Get the heck out of here. My dog likes to bite dogs. I just let him do it. No, your dog doesn't. My dog oh my goodness, at the end of the day, with what I see, with what I have real world experience with, it's killing chickens, killing cows, killing goats. The dog doesn't want to do that. It just doesn't want to, it's not in it to do that. Oh, my dog wants to, if my dog was out there, it would just kill everything. No, it won't. And I can prove that to you by bringing your dog here. I can show you how confused your dog is. I'll show you how, look at the dog's eyes and see how it's not in this like prey drive. It's in this like terrified, I don't know what to do stance. And that's why it does it. And that's us that's creating that in the dogs, as opposed to calming the dogs down and getting the dogs to be able to be relaxed. Once I get your dog relaxed and it sees the chicken, it's going to look at it and say, hey, I might chase it to move it around, but it's not just trying to go in and just demolish it, man. This is where, again, if you don't know, you don't know. But the main thing is I want to be able to explain to someone what's going on. If your dog doesn't want to simply be with you, naked in the house, not you, I mean, you naked too, but the dog, no collar, no nothing, no e-collar, no slip leash, no flat collar, no nothing. If inside the house, the dog doesn't want to come to you, if you say, hey, Oreo, come here, and the dog doesn't come to you, there's something going on that you are disrespecting that dog. I want everyone to start with that. Just understand that first. And then if you're studying the dog, working with the dog, allowing the dog to come out, doing stuff with the dog, and the dog is still acting crazy, that's where, okay, now I need to figure out what's happening here. That's why for me, I say start off. If your dog is what you perceive as disrespecting you, not listening to you, that's where I say start off with stop giving them treats. Stop even playing games with toys with them. Stop petting them. Stop staring at them. Stop walking up on them and even try to pet them. Just stop. What I want to say is hounding the dog. Get off the dog and allow the dog to come back to you. It's like a whole reset that's going to happen here. The dog is going to reset to say, you know, you've been wrong to me. So that's why the dog is far away from you. That's why the dog doesn't come when you call it, because you're like, you're wrong to me. So I want to get a reset going on here so the dog can see like a new situation happening here. And so that dog can go back to moment one, second one that it saw you. Say, you're pretty cool. I want to be with you now. Now the dog is there. Now we can take the dog out to figure out, what is this dog looking to do? What does this dog want to do? Stick the dog on the leash, go outside, and literally just out loud say to him, what do you want to do? And see where the dog goes and see what the dog does. The dog bum rushes and runs to a tree, take it to a tree, see what it does. The dog bum rushes and it whatever it's going to do. Most cases, this is what I see most all dogs do. They go to a tree and they start smelling it. They go to a bush and they start smelling it. They go to something and they just start smelling some stuff. Let them do that. Let them get that out of their system. And then we figure out what's next from there. But you got to start listening to the dog. Listen to the dog. The dog is trying to talk to you. It's trying to speak. It's trying to communicate to you. And that's where the dog is going to have no choice but to give us disrespect, because we are not listening to them. And we're expecting them to listen to everything that we have to say. No, this, yes, get off, move this. And the dog's just like, what the heck? What the heck? So we need to slow down. And that's where, for me, again, if your dog simply doesn't come, you need to figure out what that dog is looking for and give that dog that. And stop treats, stop petting, stop the toys, stop even looking at the dog for a little bit. Stop hounding the dog. Just come home and see what the dog's going to do. If the dog is jumping all on you, just sit there and stand there and look at him. And be as calm as possible as can be, as look at the dog and just stare at him. Stare at him in silence. And then see what the dog does next. Stuff that we just don't do because we're just like, I got this. We're putting our own selves in a whole lot of work that we don't actually need to do. We're just like, we're making ourselves be busybodies for no reason at all. Just stop and look at it and say, okay, dog, what the heck do you want? What are you looking for? And a dog is going to do something at that moment. It's going to walk somewhere. It's going to do something. And when it does that, see what it's going to do. See where it wants to go. See what it wants to make happen. This is the part with, again, a lot of dogs that chase and do stuff. Get you a Frisbee, get you a ball, and just go outside and see what the dog's looking at. I mean, I just start with a stick up front, people. I use sticks with my dogs. It works better than any of the toys in reality. It's almost like a instinctual thing in the dogs that they understand. Get a nice big, I don't know, I get big, of course, size of your mouth, dog's mouth, but I get a big stick, and I just toss that stick, see what the dog does. The dog doesn't pursue it. The dog doesn't look at it. Okay, then let's try something else now. And it doesn't cost, at the end of the day, any money to do any of this. Just go outside and see what the dog wants to do. The dog sees the squirrel, see what the dog is looking for. Walk the dog towards the squirrel and see what the dog's going to do. What does the dog want? Is the dog scared of it? Look at your dog in its eyes. Pay close attention to that dog. Is this dog nervous? What's going on right now? Is this dog excited like it wants to play? The dog is going to communicate that to you. And that's what you need to figure out. The dog wants to chase. Okay, we got to get something set up so you can do that. We got to find a way to be able to make that happen for you. And then the dog's going to be able to be okay. And something with me that someone says, oh, as soon as you let the dogs chase, they're just always going to do it. You know, I used to think that, like not even just a few months ago, until I got a dog that is obsessed over prey. Like her prey drive is obsessive. The most that I've seen out of any dog yet that I've ever played with myself and owned my own self. That Dalmatian, the dog that, when I'm looking up breed specifics of trying to find a dog that has a lower prey drive and is a runner, that's the one that lined up. But you know what I got? I got a dog with excessive prey drive that's not supposed to be there in that specific breed. And it's extreme. That's why I didn't get a German short-haired pointer, because I'm like, I don't want them to be all that. And she's obsessed, man. She's like insane. And to me, I'm looking at it day one like, how am I going to get her to stop wanting to chase this stuff and be all in this? Because I need her to like just be on path, man, be on mission. And that obsession came from, in reality, not being able to do it. Once I got stuff set up for her to be able to do it, she's chill today. I could turn it on, turn it off. I say, okay, Ophi, go ahead and go get it now. Okay, Ophi, we're all done. Okay, Ophi, let's go. Let's make it. Get it, man. Let's go. Because I can see her now. She gets the nose in the air, and especially on trick, because what I'm using her for is running and pulling. She gets that nose going, and I'm like, let's get it. I ag it on. I'm like, let's get it, girl. Let's go. Come on. And then she's like, woo, yeah, let's go get it. And then there's a time that it's like, okay, we're done. Okay, slow down, girl. All done. We're finished. And she understands the difference between both. Whereas now the stuff can be all around. And she's like, oh, but she knows we're on flat collar. We're not chasing nothing. We're hanging out. She knows that because I allowed her to do that. And me trying to not get her to do that, I would always be on edge, guaranteed about every little thing, about what's going on. I could never just like relax and just walk and we're just hanging out. I could never just let her off leash on these trails knowing there's bunnies, squirrels, just everything everywhere. Because she would be on edge. I would be like, oh, she's going to chase that right now. But I know that that's not going to happen because she's been able to do it. And that's the same thing about the sniffing. Oh, once the dog starts sniffing, it's just going to take over. It's not the way it works. But up front, it's going to be wild, man. It's going to look wild because you've been holding the dog back from being able to do that for so long. So it's just going to go sniff everything. It's going to go wild. Let them go through that. And then they'll, okay, chill. And for one, you let them do that for an hour a day. Up front, your dog's going to be passed out. It's going to be passed out because it's going to be working overboard. It's going to get it all out. The dog's going to be napping. And you let it out. Each day, it gets better and better and better and better and better. They're going to be able to regulate it their own selves. They're not going to take over everything. That's where, for me, I've seen this in my own life, that they start to ask, hey, can I smell that? And I'm like, yeah, man, go ahead. Oh, can we stop right here? Yeah. Can we go over there? Yeah, let's go check it out. They're not just like, oh, I'm just going to rampage. Go. No, they literally hesitate in the walk, look up at me, and they're like, let's go. And I'm like, okay. And then we go ahead and do it. Sometimes my German Shepherd, he'll get in it. He'll be like, oh, I'm going to the next one. I'm going to the next one. And I can see it in him. It starts to build up. And I'm just like, slow down, man. And he's like, oh, okay. All right. As opposed to him just digging deep and going more and more. That's the part of the relationship that I want people to really understand. Stop working against it. Stop working for it. And just be in tune. Do what the dog needs. The dog does what you need. That's a relationship. Making the dog do different stuff for just whatever you want, whatever your needs are, whatever your wants are, that's not a relationship. That's a dictatorship. And that works for some dogs. Some dogs, it works, straight up. I've seen it. I've been around it. It works. You could lay the law down and the dog's like, yes, sir. That's what I want. That's what they're looking for. Some dogs are. Some Malinois are that way. Some Dutch Shepherds are that way. Some German Shepherds are that way. Some Border Collies are that way. Some of these dogs, they just like that. They like that control. They like you telling them what to do, when to do, every second, every microsecond. They like it. They're at the end of the day, you can say some people that's how they are. And that's how some dogs also are. They like that. But the most are not that way, man. They're not that way. That's why we can't treat every dog like the few. We got to treat the few like the few and the most like the most. And what's going on today is we're treating the most like the few. We're trying to put all the rules on a dog that's just like, whoa, man, chill out. I just want to sit here for a moment. I don't need to be told to sit. I'll do it because it just wants to do it anyways. I don't need to be told to stay with you. I just want to do it. And that's what I want people to get to be able to just understand that the dog wants to do it anyways. You don't need to tell it to do it. It wants to. That's the beautiful of knowing that my relationships are going to be good from now on moving forward because I don't have to force you to do it. They want to do it because me allowing them to do what it is that I know that they needed to do. Wow, that moth was like that big. That's the biggest moth I've seen. That thing looks like a bird. I don't know about y'all, but a lot of different things going on the planet nowadays, especially all the rain we getting this year, all the different bugs that I keep seeing this year, the different kind of animals that I'm seeing out is just fascinating. This just stuff is weird. Stuff is very weird. But I noticed that because I'm out in it and paying attention to it. Again, today on my walk, saw no one out there again. No one. Not a single person. It's like summertime, kids off school, not a single person outside. Nowhere. I'm like, what's going on right now? Why everybody inside the houses right now? Why is no one going out? What's going on? Last year, there would be hundreds of people in the places I go to right now. And there's 2 people out there. Like, what's going on? What's happening? What's got everyone out here so nervous and so scared for? Let's get out. Let's go do something. That nervous, that scared is putting it into the dog. Calm down, man. Calm down. That's the main thing that I need more people to understand. Calm down. Pay attention. Look at your dog. Your dog's trying to talk to you. Get the dog what it needs, and you're going to be good to go, man. You're going to be good to go. You do not need anything more than that. That's it. You're going to be good to go. Thank you. If you believe that keeping your dog next to you is punishing your dog. I don't think you understand what dogs are. If you believe that allowing your dog to be able to do something that it has in its desire, its DNA to have to do, and that dog is going to start to control you, you don't know what dogs are. And that's why a lot of what I talk about is to make sure that people understand what dogs are. Simply, what is a dog? And I think that that's where we're stumbling at first when we get dog. We see dog and we don't even know what it is. We don't even know what it's about. We don't know what they're here for. We don't know any of that. And I want to be able to educate some folks of what a dog is. The dog wants to do everything that you want it to do. And that dog has something inside of it that it has to do. And we have to give that dog that something to do. Not all dogs have something inside them that they have to do. Some of them are bred so far away that they're good with, like my Johnny. He has no work behind him at all that he has to do. So he's going to be a way easier dog for anyone to be able to have, because he likes to sniff a little bit here, he likes to run a little bit there, and he's satisfied. And that's that little bit of sniff, though, I didn't give him, because what dog training represented, perfect heel, perfect loose leash walk, you can't deviate, you can't this, and it just drove him to insanity. You can't chase nothing. You got to always stay locked down. If you think about looking at something and think about going at it, there's a correction coming. There's punishment to look at a chicken, as opposed to just, what is this dog? And the more that we just really, truly look at the dog and understand what these dogs are, the less that you're going to need. If your dog simply wants to smell something and you simply let the dog smell something, you're simply going to watch your dog just get better. Why is it that way? Because it's simple. It's nothing complicated here. And for some reason, we as humans, we love to complicate things. We love to add all these extra words and terms on stuff that, why? Get out of all this extraness and just get into the simple basics of understanding that the dog wants to be with you. The reason that the dog wants to start running away from you is because of the disrespect that we are giving to that dog. We are not giving that dog what it needs. It has needs. Needs. You have needs. Why are most relationships as human beings, why are most divorces happening here? Because you had needs and that person wasn't able to give that to you. You had something that you needed. You needed a core fundamental thing inside of you that is there, that who knows why, what it came, it's there, but it's there. You have something in you that is there, and that other person just neglected and ignored it. So what are you going to do? I got to go. The same thing goes on with these dogs. They have needs. They have desires. And in dogs, we call it, they have drives. They have drives that they have to express. If they do not express that drive, it's got to leave you. But at least with a human, we just let, not all cases. I run into sticky situations in my life sometimes. Some girls just don't want to leave. But I tell you, they just leave. I'm gone. I'm gone. We can do that. But the dog, oh no. We got to put something on it, do something to it, to force it now to stay. It never is going to get a chance to want to stay with you because it wants to. Now it's being forced to. And that's the concept of why you can never let the leash go. Because you know if you let that leash go, that dog's gone. I can let the leash go and all my dogs cross the board and I know they're not going to go. They may run. They may go a little more of a distance that say I feel comfortable with. But at the end of the day, if they're comfortable with it, what do I need to worry about, especially if there's nothing around? But you're not going to let that leash go because you know that dog's leaving. It's going to be gone. That's the language I hear so many people say. He's going to be gone. I'm like, why? Why does this dog want to leave you? Why is this dog gone? Why doesn't he want to be around you? What's going on? Why aren't we looking at and thinking and understanding that simple concept right there? Why does it not want to be near you? What's going on in that relationship that dog has made it a mission to get the heck away from you? And when you try to call it, it just looks at you like, nah, I don't want you. I don't want nothing to do with you. That's something, in my mind, real powerful to think about. It's something real powerful for me to really just think about a lot with all of my dogs across the board. Why couldn't I just drop the leash right now and know that you're going to come to me? What am I doing to you is what I would say. Look at the dog and say, how am I abusing you to make you think that I'm so evil that you trying every second to get away from me? What's going on here? And that's what I want more people to think about. If the dog don't want to be with you, what's going on? Because that's the main design. That's what dog is. That's the representation of dog, people. That's not chicken. That's not goat. That's not any animal. Horses, dogs. But dogs even way more than even horses are. That they want to be with us. They're looking for us. They're like, where you at, man? What's going on with you? Oh, you moving? Okay, I'll go with you. Oh, we're gonna stop? Okay, I'll stop with you. Oh, you're going to the bathroom? I'll check that out. You know, they want to be there. And for them to want to be there, and all of a sudden, they when you let them be free and they don't choose to want to be with you, what's going on here? What's going on? That's the first thing we need to think about. The last thing we need to think about is I need to put obedience on this dog because the dog's not listening to me. Now you're really going to start butting heads. Now things are really going downhill because now you're forcing it to do something that it should automatically, naturally want to do. Now you're going to keep battling, man. You're going to keep battling. That's why we can't get the set equipment off the dogs, because we instantly don't trust a dog because of something that we have seen and something that we are doing. I don't trust you. Why? Because I don't. Again, that goes back to the thing I was talking about before. You can't trust if you know you're doing something inside of you that you're guilty about. So of course you can't put the trust out because you don't trust your own self. So that's where we're having a disconnect going on right now. If the dog don't want to be with you, why? That's the first question everyone should ask. Why doesn't this dog be here? Because when I first got this dog was all around me. It was cool with me. He was there. And or you got the dog out the shelter that's super nervous, and I'm telling you to leave the dog alone. The dog will warm up and it'll come to you. When that dog finally warms up and it comes to you, the dog is now, it trusts you. It's like, hey, buddy, what's up? What are we gonna do now? And then the dog has a need. It has something in it that it has to let out. And then you give that to that dog, and that dog's gonna want to get closer to you and be closer to you. And nothing else out there is gonna be more powerful than wanting to be with you. That's a great relationship to be in. That nothing can taunt it, tempt it. It's going to want to be with you. It's something I do with my dogs frequently. When someone's like, oh, they're giving them pets, and I could see the dog's uncomfortable. But if they go and want one, people like to, you go overboard with the one, man. Just give them a pet and move on. Not be like, oh, you're like getting all on the dog. I can see the dog getting uncomfortable. I'm like, hey, come here. And the dog, oh, shoot right over. Even if the dog is looking like, ooh, I want to go see that person, I say, hey, come here. And they're like, okay, now you can go. Because the dogs want to be with me. They don't want to be anywhere else but with the person that's able to give them their needs, understand their needs, satisfy their needs. And the dog is like, wow, I don't want to go nowhere else because I don't want to maybe mess that up. I'm getting everything I need from this person. That's what we should be looking for in these dogs, not a sense of control. And that's why my dog is with me. Because in that case, you are on edge. I'm telling you, you're on edge. You on edge, man. I know it. And a lot of the dog trainers out here, y'all on edge. That's why when a dog don't come back perfectly on the first time, that's why you got to give him a tap or retrain or read this, because you on edge of what that dog might do. And that's at the end of the day, that's a horrible way to live. Being on edge, what could happen? Heck no. Heck no.